Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Over the next 15 minutes or so, we're going to be talking about the ACCA qualification. This is the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants. It's one of three routes into becoming professionally chartered as an accountant. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about those three routes and the background to wanting this qualification. I'll then talk about its content specifically. Before I do that, of course, let me introduce myself.
My name is Richard Carter and I'm a lecturer here at West Suffolk College. A little bit about my background. I graduated from the University of Wales with a first class honours degree in accounting and finance back in 2000. Then qualified as a chartered management accountant with ACCA and then became a fellow of the Institute of Environmental Management and Assessment, ACCA. Spent nearly 10 years working at BT, a typical finance manager controller type roles. Latterly I was in BT Property, which involved a lot of financial modelling, economic forecasting and so government liaison and negotiation, particularly on BT's rates bill, which at the time amounted to several £100 million. After that I joined Adnams, where I was responsible for finance across all areas of the operations and the entire sustainability agenda. Now of course those two topics go hand in hand. At the time though the dual role was unusual and therefore very interesting. It's becoming much more normal now, and indeed there's a lot of evidence showing the commercial imperative for sustainability. Outside of work, I'm a board director for ACCA. I sit on the Sustainability Committee at the Institute of Chartered Accountants in England and Wales, and I'm on the board of the National Trust's Fit for the Future network. I'm also a judge for the Finance for the Future Awards, which is part of the Prince of Wales Accounting for Sustainability project. Now, over the course of my career, I've had some fantastic opportunities. Indeed, I've had the pleasure and the honour of working with people such as Al Gore, Prince Charles. I've presented to the House of Lords and lectured at universities including Oxford, Trinity College Dublin, Imperial College London. And during my time at Adnams, we've won 16 major awards for our sustainability projects.
So why would you want to study at West Suffolk College? Well, apart from the practical reasons, for example, we've just moved into a new state-of-the-art higher and professional training building. We've got parking on site, we've got our own cafe on site, we've got spacious high-tech classrooms. Aside from those practicalities, West Suffolk College is the third best college in the country. Our tutors come from a range of experiences, be that financial accounting, management accounting, maybe corporate finance. And we all remain current, as hopefully you saw from my introduction a few moments ago. We regularly speak with employers across the region and indeed with our professional bodies to find out what it is that they're both looking for and to make sure that we really are up to date. And we're very used to preparing our students for taking their professional qualifications. We've been doing that for many years at the college and our tutors have taught a range of qualifications. We also have small class sizes and that enables us to maintain those good results, but it also allows us to tailor or customise the courses and the revision to cover exactly what is needed for those individuals. So let's have a look at the course itself now. I'll talk a little bit about the background to becoming chartered and then we'll look at the ACCA course specifically. You're probably joining us either having recently qualified or about to qualify with an AAT, an Association of Accounting Technicians Level 4 qualification, or perhaps a relevant degree. By that I mean accounting, finance, economics. In either case, you've certainly got the ability to prepare an organisation's financial or management accounts, and you've got a good understanding as to why you're doing what you're doing. But perhaps that stops short of enabling you to be a strategic leader or a decision maker. So for example, should you launch a new product or a new shop? How do you make your factory or your process more efficient? How would you raise more finance? What is the best source of finance, particularly if you want to maximise the shareholders' wealth? You might need to know a little bit more about the legal framework for operating in the UK. You might want to be better prepared for managing your annual audit. What is it that the auditors are looking for? Or understanding what it is that your annual reports mean to your investors. Now, of course, there's some technical stuff in AAT and in your degree, and there certainly is here at ACCA too. It is brilliantly clever once you understand how it all works. So ACCA will bring together your previous knowledge because you're finally getting an overview of finance. So it completes your existing knowledge and it adds a strategic perspective. ACCA is conceptually engaging, by which I mean it is more advanced. And it takes you beyond the doing and into a leadership and decision-making role. It is very much one of the 3 professional qualifications that employers are looking for in an accountant, and of course for you it will start to unlock the higher salaries. Typically we would expect an ACCA qualified accountant to be earning 30k upwards, perhaps to the 2, 3, 4, 5 million pound levels that several CFOs of large corporates are certainly earning today.
I anticipated a moment ago that you are probably AAT Level 4 qualified, or perhaps you have a relevant undergraduate, that's bachelor's degree, something like accounting, finance, economics. With your AAT or similar qualification, you basically have 3 routes into chartership, and here they are. All of them, each of those 3 are globally and hugely well recognised. They are all level 7 qualifications, which is basically the equivalent of a master's degree. Let's have a look at them. Now, the ICAEW, the Institute of Chartered Accountants in England and Wales, offers a chartership, of course, and that tends to lead to a career in audit or assurance or regulation, typically fairly technical finance. Certainly that's not exclusively the case. There are some incredibly commercial, forward-thinking accountants in the ICAEW, and they're at the forefront of sustainability as well. One of the downsides of this qualification is that in order to achieve it, you need to be working with an existing ICAEW member. And for that reason, students tend to focus elsewhere, particularly in our region. So that leaves us with CIMA and ACCA. I'm a CIMA qualified accountant, and I can say perhaps it's slightly more specialist and focuses on strategy and business or commerciality. It is predicated on management accounting. For that reason, it is perhaps better if you're looking for a commercial career in larger organisations. We refer to this as working in industry. ACCA, on the other hand, is much broader and perhaps slightly more technical in the financial accounting side. So it is certainly better for those working in smaller organisations or those that are self-employed. But it is equally applicable to anybody working in a large organisation as well. There are some excellent management accounting modules, as we'll see in just a few moments. So it is well suited to those that enjoy technical finance or financial accounting, and it is extremely good for anybody working in financial modelling or perhaps in a decision-making capacity where you require a degree of objectivity. So it's ACCA that we're going to look at now. The ACCA qualification comes in 3 levels. We're going to begin at level 6, that's the middle, the orange box there, on the basis that you already have a relevant accounting qualification, most likely AAT. There are 6 modules that we need to study at this level: financial management, performance management, taxation, corporate and business law, financial reporting, audit and assurance. You will then progress to level 7, and you will be required to study 2 modules: strategic business leader, strategic business reporting, and then advanced financial management and advanced performance management we think are the most appropriate of those optional modules. The two that I've scored out there, taxation and audit and assurance, are both outstanding modules, but they are slightly specialist. They are more suited to somebody that intends to work as an auditor or perhaps as a tax specialist. The financial management and the performance management subjects are much more suitable for all-rounder accountants. At some point you will also need to study an ethics and professional skills module. We recommend doing that between the two levels.
So you've had an overview of the ACCA course now. It's very much hop on, hop off. So within those levels you can take the modules in any order, and you can do as many or as few as you wish at any one time. Let's talk about the first two modules that you're likely to study. These are both at the applied skills level. Firstly, financial management. The financial management module is large, it's technical, and it develops three key concepts that you already know about: the time value of money, risk and return, supply and demand. We're going to use these three concepts to explain how markets and economies work. We'll then look into your working capital policy. How do you make sure you're holding enough but not too much cash or working capital? We're going to look at and understand inflation, and therefore use that to calculate a detailed investment appraisal. And we'll be looking at some economics, that's micro and macro economics, in order to help us understand the cost of finance, and therefore to determine the value of the company, and of course how to maximise it for our investors. Performance management is probably the second module that you'll want to have a look at, and this is all about making sure the organisation runs efficiently and effectively. So this is advanced management accounting. You're going to be learning some advanced management accounting techniques, for example, complex break-even analysis. We'll be looking at system bottlenecks and how do you maximise the productive output from the organisation. We've got to look at advanced budgeting as well, and this includes likelihoods and probabilities. So how do you maximise the profitability of the firm whilst simultaneously minimising the risks that are facing it and its decisions? Inevitably, this will mean that we've got to look at how parts of the organisation work together. So we'll be looking at some transfer pricing, we'll look at opportunity costs. And all of this will come together in your ability to make considered, balanced decisions at a senior level. Ladies and gentlemen, that's an overview of the ACCA course that we're going to be offering here at West Suffolk College. I'm typically asked a couple of questions at this point. So number one, is it like AAT? Well, yes it is, but it's much more conceptual. AAT teaches you the basic techniques. It's fairly rules-based. ACCA, in my opinion, is more conceptually stimulating and stretching. It's much more interesting. Students ask if they have to be good at maths, and no, you don't. The algebra, the graphs, are just shorthand for the logical stories that we will be telling. You will need to be familiar with the basics such as rearranging equations or understanding what is being explained to you, but we'll teach you everything you need to know, everything you need to understand. Ladies and gentlemen, over the last 15 minutes or so, you've learnt more about me and West Suffolk College. We've talked about the routes into Chartership for professional accountants, and we've talked about the ACCA qualification. In particular, we've looked at the first of the two modules in just a little bit more detail. I very much hope that you'll join me for the course, and I look forward to seeing you at the college very soon.